Okay, I am kind of back, so I'm gonna go into the kitchen and like live it under a minute again because I decided to make myself a spelt pillow because I am freezing into another year. I guess that's from me still not being 100% obviously. Comes with being sick, and it doesn't help that it's really cold outside too, even though my room isn't that cold, but thought that before anything gets worse again, I'm already in like an extra jacket, a thick pullover, and I have a blanket over my legs, but thought might as well add to the warmth. And I forgot my fork anyways, I just realized, so oh well. But yeah, I'm gonna be right there, and I guess by the time I finished everything, the day should have passed, we should get extra money, which is nice. But yeah, as you guys can see, day 50, yesterday we were in day 49, so all I did yesterday, when the stream ended, I just let the game open for a teeny bit longer until it was day 50, so that we have enough money to continue without having to wait for the day to end. I guess this is just an extra day now, considering that I can still like craft things to the evening light, it doesn't really matter anyways. And that was my microwave. Okay, there we go. Oh, much better. I'm still cold because it's like freezing from the inside, but it's way more comfy. I have like a warming pillow on your legs underneath the blanket, which I need to put on again. There we go. Just cozying up. And we're already having nighttime, which is nice. But yeah, my plan for today is I am gonna build the museum. And maybe even I'm gonna try to see if we can get everything so set up that I have like the premium beds and can maybe finish a lot of the quests. We did yesterday when I let the day run, apparently got my 20 reviews that I needed. I don't know how many more it is for Winterberry, but I can at least finish and get the items for the lakeside farmhouse, so that's nice. So I guess I'm just gonna wait for night to come while I mix my food up. And then we're gonna go to build first of all this thing, and then we're gonna go to High Lake. With this thing, I mean the museum. And then we're gonna go to High Lake and check out the station there. Because I don't know if that was the last of the quest or not. Or if we have to do more there. And I want to make sure that I have all the items. Hello there, Chronic Titan. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. Mianfu, huh? One of those many martial arts Pokemon. Okay, come on, it should be nighttime soon. You're eating food, so you're good. But it's mid-good though, so not Not good, but good. I mean, that's at least something. What are you eating? I'm eating also right now. I have some pasta with some beetroot sauce and some basil. A lot of basil. But yeah, I'm alright. I am a little bit sick, apparently, because I've been running a fever today, so... Salmon with salmon? Like dry salmon or actually like seasoned and with sauce? I like salmon, especially smoked. It's not what I wanted. What I wanted was this. Okay, that works. Nah, that will not work, because I need to have a 5x5, so that will work. Okay, I'm gonna make it like this again, because we don't have the means to make it any different, but that's okay. Is that too far? No, not that. Space in between them. One space, not two. There we go. And then I guess let's put the like card stand thing here that I wanted to have in the museum. And was there anything else? I don't think for now that there was anything else. Never mind. I meant to click that. Seasoned with creamy dill sauce. I love dill sauce on fish. It's yummy. But yeah, fish can go and turn out mid very quickly, especially if it's not if it's like too dry or like the proteins have rendered too much, things like that. Gonna put the feather in the middle. I just noticed I accidentally put this a little bit too far in front. That's okay. I'm gonna leave it like this. But yeah, since we're living at the sea here, we get a lot of fresh fish stuff, so I'm also really picky on like the quality of fish a lot of times. Because it makes so much of a difference when you buy it in a supermarket when you're not living at the coast, when it has been shipped and not. So that's why usually when I am not at the coast and when I used to live somewhere else, I always mostly went for either fully frozen, because they freeze it directly here at the coast, or I went for smoked, because smoked does work out too. But anything else is mostly just... have like shitty frozen sheep salmon. Yeah. That stuff you can upgrade and like really like slowly thawing it and then like crisping it up and sous videing it with like herbs and stuff. But it takes like a while to get good, and even then it has its limits. Yeah. There's really like a limit to what frozen can do and what it can't do. Like you can get some decent stuff, but it's obviously not as fresh. So it's always a hit and miss, and it really depends on the fish. I found like salmon and like the other more like fatty fish, they don't do that well frozen. While like, I forgot what it's called in English, but dorado and stuff, like the white meat fish that have like a little bit less oil, they work a bit better. You know, the fish that's used for fish sticks, things like that. That being said, not all the fresh fish from the coast is always the best, but yeah. Fair. I think most people, when they buy frozen fish like this, I think they that's the reason why they put it like they cook it in sauce. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen like the fish cooked in like tomato sauce or like baked in the oven in tomato sauce, fully boiling it with the sauce. I guess that's probably why. Are you able to build a museum, dear? Yes, we did. Brilliant! Now the last step is fairly easy. Take your special artifact and place it on the display. Carefully, of course. You want to preserve all the secretness. And everything's set. Yep. Wonderful. Like I said there are mysteries all around this valley. You might find the most peculiar items in the most unexpected places, so keep looking until you've filled up that museum. Dark secrets always enjoy company. I think there's one more important renovation we need to do for everything to be complete, but it will require a lot of effort on both our parts. Now the pineapple's back up and running full strength, I will need you to make sure the customers keep coming so that we can raise 50,000 coins in investment. Yes, Hang, investment for the future. What a greedy... I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking. I don't wanna curse her this much, but considering that she made the artifacts thing up, she is very much so greedy. More so greedy than the sharks. Or does she have something to do with the sharks? I don't know, but they're greedy too. Okay, that's nice. So we finished that one. I need to accept all the guest requests. Like that. Let's quickly travel. Yeah, the sharks are not loan sharks. They are like basically the sharks, the shark statues. They were like sent there from the company to be like a guidance for they're like more it's called pawn voyage, so I guess you know, it's more like a pawn shop kind of thing. But so it's a kind of loan shark, but they don't loan us anything. They just guide us. Wanted to have a look at the details. Bedroom 5. What's wrong with bedroom 5? It's cold and the room is not decorated enough. And this doesn't have fuel. Whoops. Okay, I guess I'm gonna decorate it a little bit more. But yeah, the fuel thing is accidental. I thought I added the guy for the fuel here, didn't I? No, I now added them here because I was like, oh, it's so easy to fuel this up myself. Whoops. Yes, loan shark adjacent terms of scumminess, definitely. Though, the people that speak the shark, they seem to be kind of trapped there and forced to speak what they should speak. It's very suspicious, at least. Decoration. I mean, yeah, it's a bit bare bones. I'm gonna get like a side table and things like that, and we're gonna add that to this person. Actually, I do still have a side table. Let's just go into building. Let's go in. Nope, not this one. This one. I haven't really decked out any of these. This one is also fairly bare. Let me get... Don't have enough. I need to pick up the trash stuff. 2 nights really add up for this. But they are definitely very scummy, and I hope we can uncover the secret of these guys. So it seems very interesting. Okay, I want this. No, let's get 2 more for now. Might need another one. Let's get some lamps up there. Need them anyways for my other place, and then don't want this one. I want like more of these. Okay, build. Where's the light? Where's the light? There it is. Well, I can move backwards a little bit more, I guess. Not the rock nor the lamp. The table, no. Fine. What a pain. And the plants. Put a nice one right here. Different nice one right here. This one already has one plant adjacent thing. Might as well put one in here. Yeah, okay. You need a light still. I remembered that. You need a light still. You had one. She wants 40 for decoration. Holy crap. We are not gonna bother with that for now. I am quite happy with what I made there, but I need to go back to make the level 5 bedrooms. I guess the easiest thing to get 50,000 coins is more so like a you let it run and just take care of guests yourself kind of thing. It's gonna sound random, but from my professional Western European opinion, when they're contemplating between learning German and learning Dutch with the idea of maybe potentially moving to Germany or Netherlands, what would you suggest? Both of them are not the easiest to learn. Both the countries have very much so downsides. It depends on why you want to move and what you would be up to for that. Like, if you want to find a stable job somewhere at a company, both of them will work. If you wanna go more individual, I would almost say Belgium, because their taxes are a little lower. You have a lot of added costs and benefits in both. I guess the mindset of people is also a bit different. Like, I mean, Germans have gotten a bit better, but the German mentality is still like, if they say you should do it and just accept it, you do it and accept it. While in Belgium, they're a bit more, they have more of the French influence and they fight a bit more for their rights. Like, both have their ups and downs, but from that standpoint, it really depends on like work benefits and things like that, and I guess you need to figure out what you like more, and then you need to figure out which city and which region you want to go into, because first of all, Netherlands is way more expensive. Belgium and Germany not as much. Belgium a bit cheaper in certain parts than Germany. But Germany also has like so many different regions with so many different styles of people, behavior and stuff. Like there's like different ways that people interact with each other on the street in way many different regions, so you have to kind of travel and see which one you like most, I guess. Like in the north where I live, it's way more common to like be left alone with everything and not spoken to too much. While like more in the south, it's more common that like basic like conversations happen on the streets and in the supermarket. Same with the east. Like I'm actually at some point planning to move more towards East Germany, maybe Czechia, depending on what my field of work will be later, but like because I like the warmth of people there a little bit more and I like the region a little bit more and the climate for my sickness, but yeah. The thing is, it doesn't really matter what the political direction is, because the ruling comes from the European government. Germany is very much so one of the trial countries that is influenced most by the European government, and like the political like theater, it doesn't really matter too much for that. Like they always says this matter, but when you actually read about what the European Union has brought out and what Germany has brought out, it's very, very similar. Like very, very really similar. So at this point it's like, it's whatever. The thing is, it's fine. It's not the best, it's not the worst. Would I say it's better than in the US with certain rulings? Absolutely. But the same counts for every side. The thing is that social media is very much so on a hate campaign. And I don't know what's up with the people recently, but like free opinion isn't really counted as that anymore too much. Like for some reason, if you say that you would vote for a certain group of people, a certain party, because of X, Y, if it's not the party that the majority wants, or that is like commonly accepted, then you're gonna be ostracized, called a Nazi, and things like that. I mean, to be fair, like considering how long Germany was like influenced and how much Germany was influenced by the US, it's actually one of the most influenced by the US countries in Europe. There's slight similarities, but not too many. We do have a decent bit of American produce though, like a little bit more than some of the other countries. What did I want to? I wanted to go to the scrapyard. But yeah. Like my tip is, if you really would want to move, visit, but not just visit, but like go from city to city, spend at least a week here. One thing I can tell you is, no matter where you are, whether in Germany or Belgium, bureaucracy is crazy. You have to do a lot of stuff, reach in a lot of papers, and most of them are bilateral in person because we still don't have like working online systems. Heck, most of the companies and stuff still use fax. And yes, that is a thing. People still use fax over here. And like most like communities. So some cities have upgraded a little bit more, but it's like a crazy amount for everything that you need to reach in papers and be like precise. One good thing is, if you have a job, like most jobs usually do the taxes for you to a certain point. Depends on the job and things like that, so taxes are actually a little bit easier. but there's a lot of insurances you need to have that are expected from you to have in other countries. Like, we have one that's called the Haftpflichtversicherung and things like that. Like, when certain damage to certain property happens, it's very normal that everybody here has that insurance to make sure that the other insurance company pays for the damages you receive from the person, things like that. You know, it's like a lot to pay in mind. That is way more than in the US. The benefits you get from that are higher, but yeah. Yeah, here just because technology, like, isn't really taken into much. Like, the amount of times that a place will still only take cash money, which I prefer personally, but like, cannot take card payments because the electronics are down or the system is down, is still way, way high. They did put a ruling in place, like before that it was not mandatory for places to have those kind of things. Now it should be that they have at least the card scanners. But it doesn't always mean that it works because the system is, well, whatever. Germany is a bit more behind than people would think for that. I mean, they only now started to add fiber optics to like all the further parts in Germany. And they still work in like a decent bit of regards with the landline. I wanna fix this 3 times loggers tools is gonna be expensive. I'm gonna leave it till the end. But yeah, it's like, the thing is there's like many different things I would say about moving and not moving, but I cannot make that decision. I can just tell you how like my experience in living here is. One thing I can tell you is that like a lot of people that move here from the US move because they have children and they like it better. Although it has gotten a bit worse still since then, but at least school shootings are like maybe 1, max 2 a year, if even. So, you know, that's way better, and like the like play spaces and things like that are way different, but like if it's for like a person that wants to find their way alone and like figure out a work environment kind of thing, you always have to like kind of experience it for yourself first, and best actually to stay a bit longer, like in most places when you move there. It's like, I don't know. But I guess that you have negatives in every country. I think it's more so, is it better than where you lived before? And like, is it in any way an enhancement that actually benefits you? And can you like feel better with the people and things like that? And I'm totally out of money, and yes, I kind of do that. So yeah, it's always a harsh thing to like figure out. But like overall, if I would look between the US and here, I would say yes, it is better. But yeah, it's like, obviously it has its negatives too. You've been paying more taxes if you got healthcare in return of instead of having a tax dollar used to fund war crimes. Not really trying to make the decision right now, just something you've been thinking about again. Since you want to try and learn a new language soon, think I might try and learn what is actually useful to you. Yeah, I get that. German is a language that is very hard. Very, very hard to learn. From the grammar, from the pronunciation, since we actually use way different muscles than you guys do when we speak. Like, English is more in the front of the mouth, so to speak, while German also goes more to the back of the throat. Not as much as Russian and other languages like this, but definitely more. So it's like, it's tricky with the pronunciation and stuff. It's definitely a challenge to learn, so if you want to be up for a challenge, go for it. Though I can tell you what makes it easier is that a lot of people here speak English, except for like the older generations. Like pretty much everybody learns and speaks pretty decent English. Still need to upgrade the other bathroom. I already scrolled past where I wanted to be at. I can only make one more, that's okay. Can I? How much do the footrest cost? Okay. I can get 2 of those, that's good. That's a good start. Bathroom. I wanted to see if I can make the fancier bathroom. I don't know if there's an even fancier version. I have the feeling that some of them stop at the levels they're currently at. Like, we already have a bubble tub. And things like that, so I think it stops there, but yeah. We shall see. Did a little bit of German like years ago and tried to pronounce Milch, and you couldn't get it right. I mean, milk and Milch is fairly similar, but yeah, this like sound is like very much so in the back of the throat, and like we have a lot of these sharper sounds that are like more in the back of your throat, and they're definitely way harder to learn than most people think. Like, a lot of people, especially English-speaking folks, have a lot of trouble with that. Cannot tell if it's lined up or not. Okay, that's lined up. And then I can take this mirror. I wanted to add another one of these lamps. I think I had one still. Yep, and there we go. And then I'm gonna already switch out these footrests. Should have kept it for the bed money for the other beds, maybe. But oh well, I wanted to have 2 really nice rooms at least so far. But yeah, it's a fun challenge to learn. Definitely not for everybody though. Like, the struggle be real. I think I'm gonna go with these rooms next, because I think the other place isn't as... I mean, it's spacious, but not as spacious, so I want to start out with these rooms over here. And they do already have the nice bathrooms, so... Let's move out the bed. Not the rug, the bed. And then move in the Louis bed, aka the very fancy bed named after that French person. There we go. I want to go to the trash thing. I mean, you do know more than one person that knows German, like, just saying. Es ist ja nicht so, als wenn ich kein Deutsch könnte, but, you know. By the way, I said it's not like I couldn't speak German. That's what I said. German is also a very fast language to speak. Like, what I mean with, like, mouth movement. English can be too, but I have the feeling, like, German sounds a bit clearer when you speak it fast. English kind of muddles together a bit more. Probably because of the more harsher consonants and things we have. But yeah. Definitely if you're up for a challenge, learn German. That's what I wanted. I was staring at the mirror the entire time and I couldn't figure out what I wanted, but I wanted these mirrors, clearly. And a couple more of these lamps. This is like really money intense. Like all of this. I guess we have to live with that. But yeah, in terms of living, you have to visit, see what you want, speak with people that work in the environments that you may want to work in, whatever that is. It's like definitely a good advice to like visit and look. Because again, Germany is, it's definitely way smaller than US, but it's decently large enough. What's your problem? I have the fear that all of the cabins... Yep. All of the cabins need a food station. I thought so. I thought that may happen. This one has like a large dining room. I think I'm gonna add like a lounge here or something. But that means that I need to turn part of the... Hold on, let me first go back into this. Part of the stuff in here I need to turn into a kitchen. Gosh, they get it in. Fair enough. You know, one person who's fluent and one person who sucks. You're honestly bad at talking, so you're not sure how you would do with such linguistically complex language and you're trouble speaking literal sense. Your mouth is bad at the action of pronouncing things. Yeah. But I think German may be a good practice though, since it uses different mouth muscles too. But hey, the grammar is a really fun challenge. Loves maniacally. I mean, there's a reason why we have said grammar in school from grade 1 to grade 13 all the way through. And I promise you, Germans are still really bad at grammar. Also, Germans have an affection with being, don't worry, it's an actually legit word. It's called Grammar Nazi, which is literally a typical like thing where if a German likes to correct other people's like spelling and pronunciation and things like that when they make a mistake, and they do that quite a lot. We literally have a name for that. So, you know. Which I personally think is quite hilarious. We Germans have a lot of random names for random things. I'm gonna add that there. I wanted to get more of the towel thingies. Because I quite like them. So one more towel rack, one more of these glass cabinet things. And then we're gonna see that we add some kitchens in these places. Towel. Last cabinet. Kind of sad that the lights aren't on all the time, just when they were in the bathroom. Like, I mean, the lights over the mirror. I mean, it makes sense, but like, I would have loved to have it lit up a little bit more. Heard about that, and then you had the French people who just not even bother speaking French to us unless your French is perfect. Yep. I've been screamed at as a child for even trying, and I wasn't even doing too bad at all. And it put one of my friends off of trying to speak French completely while we're in France. And since then, he has never tried speaking it again. Like, he mustered up all his courage to try and speak to that lady. All the others were kind of friendly, or like, didn't really mind. But she was like screaming at us in German how bad our French is. We were like 13 or so, we were like young teens. We were really trying. Like at this point we had like French for like 3 years. What can you expect? Oh yeah, kitchen. I was like, what did I want to do here? wanted originally to make the museum larger, but I think I will have to make a dining room thing, like here. Does it have to be this large? Can I make it one smaller? That's the question. But yeah, French, like there is a lot of nice French people. But from my experience, there's also a lot of not nice French people. Don't typically like being xenophobic, but maybe France should be an isolationist country. Considering how much they tried to be over the years in history, but then couldn't achieve that, maybe? But no. Like, France is actually nice to visit, that's the thing. Like, you have so many different regions with so many different, things. Oh, that, yeah, I forgot that counts as like, okay. So mix it like this. People can live with that, right? But I wanted to add a popcorn machine or something, but nah. Okay, food. We don't have the money, hold on, I need to sleep for the night first. I mean, in Paris and stuff, people are definitely friendlier, but like, especially in like the smaller villages and stuff. Yeah, no. From my experience, sadly not. If you go into a touristy area, you're more than fine. And if you don't even try to not be a tourist, you know? The reason why I'm making it so awkwardly shaped is because I need the space for the cooking part for the... Julia. There we go. Because ain't no way I'm gonna make that food. It's too narrow, let's put our stuff here. And I need the cooking board and... This is making it even less money that we earn per day. But I guess people are gonna be happier, so whatever. We need a... not the range. Large cutting board. And because we can, I wanna add the large cooker. That's probably all we can fit. If we can even fit the cooker. I can move the door. Let's move the door. I think it's better. How smart would it be to move to Brussels entirely? Not very smart. Don't move to Brussels. Most Belgians that don't have to live in Brussels avoid Brussels like it's the pest. If that gives you an indication. Also, Brussels sprouts are literally very common everywhere here. Like, it's a very common Christmas fruit to eat the roasted Brussels sprouts here too, in Germany. So, please don't move to Brussels just for that. If you want to move to Belgium for the fries, though, that's a different thing. But still, don't move to Brussels. For your own sanity. Gonna have to make the hallway a bit smaller or make the arcade smaller. Guess I'm gonna take that corner out of the arcade. Since I'm taking it out anyways, might as well make it like this. Guess we have like a 2 white hallway here, that's perfect. And then it's gonna be like a weird zigzag here. Gonna... No, I don't have enough money. Okay, that's okay, we can already craft the stuff we need and we can change up the thing already. We need a table, we need chairs. Imagine eating a Brussels sprout in Brussels. It's like eating Kentucky Fried Chicken in Kentucky or unseasoned boiled peas in the UK. Just unseasoned boiled peas. They mostly have salt though, they're not fully unseasoned. Also, mushy peas are mostly like a side dish to mellow out when you eat like meats and things like that that are very salty and very seasoned. They have their own right. It's like people have some bland mashed potatoes next to steak. Or like mildly bland, maybe with a little bit of spice or something. Like just pepper and salt. Also, I don't know how many Brussels sprouts they actually make in Brussels. Like, actually, I would need to ask my Belgian friends. I think you prefer your peas non-mushy? I like my peas to have a little snap to them too. Like, I don't mind if they like mushy peas to their stuff, but it's definitely also not my preferred thing. But you know, as they say, to each their own. Also, this is not working anyway, so I'm gonna delete this room. Yes, bye. Doesn't matter if you not kick there. Matters more that I... Blah blah blah, stairs, blah blah blah. Can I put the door there though? No. Can't. Let's make it like this. I'm gonna add the sink and stuff. I'm right about it. No. And yeah, peas are not my preferred food too much anyway. I actually try to avoid them in most cases. Because first of all, I'm allergic to a decent bit of legumes. Some sort of peas don't count into that though, but peas are known for not being too good when you have inflammation in your body. So they're like one of the things where I'm like, yeah, maybe not. Don't care enough for them to, you know, be happy with not feeling too well. It's different with asparagus for me though. I quite like asparagus, especially green one when it's fried. Brussels sprouts are technically also one of the foods you don't really want to eat when you have inflammation, but... And it's like, not too bad. I do also eat them. I love when they're fried with like brown and then like the salt on the outside made them sweet. I love that. But yeah, I tried not to be too mean to my health, obviously. I don't know if it's actually that obvious. But I care about my health, so... certain foods I will not be eating. Asparagus is top 3 vegetable, you're so right. Yes. To be fair, my top 1 technically are leek and bell pepper. I also really love beetroot and carrots. Brussels sprouts is up there. What else? What else? Asparagus, as I mentioned, I really, really like. I'm trying to think of other vegetables. I guess the only other one is squash. I like squash quite a lot. Okay, that's at least the kitchen done. I have to wait for another day to pass, which is gonna be so long still for me to be able to afford the dining room. May as well get the stuff prepped though. So we need another dining chair and another table, or another 3 dining chairs there. And I need a buffet, another one. I'm so correct, like is the best aromatic. Brussels sprouts and carrots great, and then bell peppers might actually be favorite. It's almost impossible to make them bad. Yeah, I love slow roasted bell pepper. They fit with so many things. You can like try to make them sweet with like rice. You can fill them with cheese. If you want like a little bit more tartness, you can use green bell peppers because there's so much variety. Actually, there's a reason why most of our chips here are paprika flavored, aka bell pepper flavored. Which, by the way, pepper, bell pepper, is Pfeffer in German, without the bell, obviously. Like, some of the words are very similar to the English one. In most cases, it's just a sharper pronunciation, but German is actually not that harsh of a language. It's just, obviously, when you shout German, it sounds harsh. I know it's like a misconception that a lot of people have, that German is a very harsh language. It's not. Yes, it's a bit harsher than English because we have a sharper R and the sounds and things like that are a bit sharper. But like in comparison to Russian and things like that, which are definitely more harsh sounding from the like sounds they make, this is like nothing. Like German is definitely not aggressive sounding. Like, I think it's like mostly because like a lot of people in the videos are shouting for some reason, and if you shout, anything sounds aggressive. Duh. But yeah, people just think German is harsh because for a long time half the German you heard were clips of Hitler screaming. The fun thing is, Hitler in and of itself, he wasn't really screaming too much. But like the recording techniques obviously of that time make it sound like that. He was actually a very smooth and charismatic talker, like people liked his personality and how he talked, which obviously doesn't help the cause, but like it's an interesting thing to think about when you think about that time. Like, people went willingly to his speeches because they were actually good. But yeah, I guess it's also that, like, in a lot of American movies, it's portrayed as very harsh sounding, which I noticed quite a lot. To be fair, a lot of Americans still think that Bavarian outfits and culture are all over Germany, even though they are only a very small part of Germany. Like Lederhosen and Dirndl. Not that common at all. Just the tree in Bavaria, which is like small. Yeah, you don't pick those clips, you just have in the other parts. I mean, to be fair, it doesn't really make much sense for you guys to listen to them anyways. Considering, like, even with subtitles, considering you don't understand the nuances. Cannot even analyze them correctly at that point, like, it's more so making people angry about the situation, I guess, and riling it up to, like, make it really sound as bad as it is, and, like, really get it in the minds that it's bad. But also, you guys don't learn that much about the time as we do. Obviously, because it's not your country or region. But in a lot of parts of Europe, and especially in Germany, it's like you have so many years in school where you talk about that topic, talk about what happened. It's actually, you have to at least once in your school time visit a concentration camp. I can tell you guys that's grim. But it's like a thing, we work it up like way more. And we like analyze it way more, so like it makes more sense to actually listening to them. Like, since you guys don't understand the language anyways, it's like if we would have like Russian speeches constantly running, like we wouldn't understand anything. We did have some Nelson Mandela stuff and Gandhi stuff and such, where we could, like, we did talk to those, but considering that like it was mostly English anyways, and we had a decent bit of English at that point in class, it was more than fine. But yeah, in comparison, like, you guys' schools really don't represent it as much in like a light that they should do. I feel like most I've heard from like what schools talk is like, oh, Germans are bad, Germans are Nazis. I mean, I even got the comment once, are you still electing Hitler? And I'm like, but he's dead since years? Yeah, no. They really thought he was still alive and that we elected him. Took a history class once as an elective where basically spent a whole year all the World War I and II, so I saw a lot of 3-second clips of it. We don't watch that many clips anyways. We do, in certain occasions, read all the speeches, but it's more so to analyze what he actually says and how people taken it, what they did with it, and how people behave towards things. Yeah, it definitely is. Which, like, I mean, there is a reason why so many Americans actually move out to Germany in the last, like, 20 to 30 years. Because it's just not true. Like, think I need to cut out a little bit more there. Oh well. I have a fly on my screen that's bothering me, but let's cut out like one more thing here so I have the right proportions. I think I can put it here, but I don't know if I can put the chairs there. Yeah, no. This is gonna be a very awkward dining room. When I say very awkward, I mean very, very awkward. I'm thinking if I actually... If I do this... And then put that here. That's better. And then put 3 chairs. It doesn't say how many chairs, it just says you need a face in the dining room. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna cut out that political top, because... Also didn't mean to go too long about this. I'm gonna make the kitchen one smaller to make this fit. And I guess then I can turn the table sideways. This is the most awkward dining room ever. To say it nicely. I guess that works. Okay, well, we have that one done. Let's go over to the other one. That one. Let's add a food dining room. And then the one thing I still need to do is, yes, blah blah blah, stairs, blah blah blah. I need to move the door over here to make this work, but that's fine. At least I can put this door over there. Let's put this door over here. There. We can move the sink one over and the hob one over. It's a bit more space for her. Okay, there we go. This is bothering me. This longer than table? No, it's about the same. Okay. But maybe move it over to where the table is, but I guess not. Let's do this then. As long as you can still fit through the door, she can still fit through the door, I think it's fine. I mean, in like a way. How did that collide with a wall? Oh well. Awkward table placement, awkward everything, it's okay. Yes, it has to be like this. I hate it. I wish we had this room. I don't understand why you cannot make the room like till there. For the stairs, but I guess that's how it is. Let's add the meals for that. I'm gonna take some of the meals that we had for this one. I'm gonna take those up. Because I originally thought that this would feed everybody, so I made the numbers higher. But if we have to afford stuff for other people here, I'm not gonna. I want to add tea or something. Spicy lemon tea, let's do that. Save changes. Okay. Oh, it keeps the gap. Oh well. Also, it wasn't even turned on. That's a lot of money. Oh well. Yeah, we're not gonna make enough money to do anything more. This is really bothering me. This game, like, is, like, requiring a lot of AFK stuff to progress in the end. Like, a lot. Gonna put more fuel into Winterberry. We only have 20 minutes left. I wanted to see if I can pick up the wood up here. And I guess the fuel. But yeah, considering how uncomfortable that talk just made me about political stuff, I think I'm just gonna never ever talk about things like that again. And again, I'm gonna take it out and mute that part of the VOD, because ugh. So sorry you guys had to witness that. And it's not a topic I feel too comfortable to, like, you know, talk about political stuff anyways, because I don't wanna, like, it's fine if I talk with friends, but even then I try not to mention it too much, except for if it's, like, something that's really negatively affecting me, from, like, political decisions and things like that, but else I try to avoid the topic in general, cause, like, politics have always been a thing I think people need to figure out for themselves. Like, you need to do all the research yourself and stuff, and I don't wanna shape any opinions, things like that. There's already enough of that out there, and it's always, like, bound to be, like, a more negative topic because people think differently, so yeah. This is gonna be a little sappy, but yeah, I quit smoking a year ago, and I remember encouraging works were a big help for me accomplishing that. Just wanted to thank you for that again. Aw, I'm happy that they helped you. Yeah, I feel like any kind of, like, quitting anything or, like, any kind of mental journey just needs a bit of, like, a reality check and, like, a thing of, like, don't rush it, take it slow, so that it's the best for your body, and celebrate every small step. Don't. I remember that I was saying that it's, like, not good if you try to quit from now to then. It's like the same with, like, dieting, trying to lose weight, like, really rapidly. It's more so you need to get your body accustomed to it, and you need to, like, start slowly and just get, like, a rhythm going. Yeah, I tend to do that sometimes when I'm uncomfortable with topics, and I tend to then ramble on in the stupid ways, even though I want to end the topic, but I feel like I always have to explain myself more. You know what I mean? Because I would hate to not get my point across right. But I'm only gonna take out the political part, not the whole talking about moving and learning German part, obviously, so. That's gonna stay, but yeah. It's probably because it's always so negative, especially in social media. I really don't want this to come and buy back to me, because no matter how small of a streamer you are, like, how badly people are, like, you know, treating you in like a social media way nowadays is like not the best, and I really don't wanna have anything like that happen to me. I'd rather stay more positive than anything. Yeah, I think a decent bit of people do that. Because, like, you know, over-explaining things so people don't think wrongly of you and things like that. Obviously, that's like the problem also with political stuff. It's like all based on opinions, and if you have a different opinion than some others, or the majority, even if you can explain it well, that doesn't count for them. So that's why I try to avoid it. But yeah, gonna cut that out as soon before I upload the VOD, and I'm also gonna mute it in the video VOD. So yeah, everybody that just listened will be the only people that listen to it. I feel like when you talk about it, also, like, a lot of times you wanna, like I feel like it's like a topic that I can easily, like, pressure you to change your true opinion and just talk about what you think people wanna hear. So that's also a reason, like, I try to avoid these kind of topics where, like, there's a lot of, like, opinion like that and pressure like that behind it, because I feel like, you know, if I want to talk about topics, I want to talk about them openly, and if there's, like, a topic that really pressures you into not doing that, sorry. Drank too much carbonated water there. But yeah, I feel like I just really don't want to touch that, because you never know which people are gonna show up and, like, discuss with you about things and what they're gonna say and how much they're gonna go against you, because, like, internet negativity is very high, which is why I'm always really careful about things. People take shit too seriously, as you aren't, and are spawning hate speech. If you agree with me politically, met some very nice people with vastly different opinions from me. Yeah. That's the thing, like, as long as you're not fanatic about your opinions, but you can just accept that we have different opinions, I'm totally fine with that. That can be religious, that can be political, but yeah, it's not really like a thing. I think you should get behind the political movement. You can get behind free ice cream on Fridays. French fry Fridays? Ice cream Sundays? Pizza counts for all week whenever you need it as comfort food. How about that? To be fair, people are gonna be mad that then there's not gonna be a free ice cream on, like, any of the other days, so, you know. I don't want to have that responsibility. I'd rather be a crafty instructor, and even then, I always say, like, that's just my experience, because it's true, because there's a lot of people that have, like, more or different experience in, like, certain topics. Like, I think the only thing I can do is, like, organizing. Like, when it comes to organizing certain things. I'm not talking about just monetary, I'm talking about, like, group organization. I feel like that's, like, a German knack of me, though. Like, the efficiency of who works on what and how's everything organized is, like, I don't know, just a little bit more ingrained. I always did that also when we had, like, class projects. I was always the person to be, well, you do that, and you do that, and it actually worked pretty decent. So apparently I have a knack for that, but yeah, when it comes to, like, any kind of leadership, absolutely not. I cannot hold speeches very well, I cannot hold presentations, things like that. I can try and explain things, but because of my OCD, I would always worry that I'm missing too many things. And I would always worry that, like, doesn't get the point across too much, so, like, I would always, like, over-explain and things like that, and it just wouldn't work well for, like, any kind of campaign. So I'm just gonna be in the back scenes, just, like, you know, trying to come up with good reasons and things. How about that? I think that's way better suited for me. Okay, we're already out and we cannot afford another bed yet. Thing is, we need 3 more beds. They're all 8 and that's so expensive, which means like the amount of days that we basically have to waste literally just waiting is insane. I could do this and save a bit of money on everything. Let's do that. You're good at leading dogs, cats, because they like your chill vibe and lucky aura, but other than that, you're not a leader either. My mom is very good at that too, like cats and dogs always turn towards her, and she's not a cat person at all. Actually, since the neighbor's cat that was sick always left a lot of remnants in our garden where my mom had to accidentally grab into them when she was tending to her flowers and stuff. It's a like she can tolerate cats, but she definitely is a bit more worried about them. Plus she loves birds just much more. But still, like cats and dogs, they always turn around to her. Whether we're in a car or like just walking, always turn around towards her. I'm doing pretty well with animals too, but like apparently I'm a magnet for children, like small children always find me fascinating for some reason. I don't really care about children. I'd rather have a more animal person-based. But hey, cannot always have all your wishes, right? Like literally at any kind of like family meetup or like friends meetup whenever they were young children, no matter how many other younger like their age group or other like people they were, they would always stick towards me. Pain of my life. You should be fine. I mean, all of them have food, so but there is not a... Oops. I think that's too high of a rating. We don't have that much. I don't think we have like a 30 rating, no. We have all 27s because we don't have the upgraded bathrooms yet. So I'm gonna go 17. You're afraid of children, you're more afraid of walking into an alley and seeing a child than you would be walking into an alley, see a bear. That's a choice. Why is that still minus 100? That one is so broken, I swear. Whoops, I took the person that I said I cannot talk. Whatever. I'm just gonna assign none of them, because there's no way you can make it totally fit. Okay. That's all. Now we can sleep for the night and cash in our money. Forget about man versus bear, chat versus bear in the woods, you take the bear. Can we please not take on bears? Poor bears? But yeah. I'm not afraid of children, it's more so annoying, because when I wanna do my own thing, I don't wanna, like, have to, like, tend to a child. Don't get me wrong, I can take care and occupy children if I really have to. Like, if I had to babysit a child or something, I could do it. Would I like it? Not really. But hey, I guess people's opinion on that regard are, you know, very different anyways, because some people just really can do well with children and love them to bits, which is good that there's a difference. And then some people just can't. Which I think is totally fine. Everybody should have their pros and cons and things. And then, obviously, those people may not be as good with animals than though and things like that. I'm just afraid you're gonna scar them for life. Even though you're mild-mannered. Yeah. The problem is, like, I guess when you're not a parent or something like that, it's like that you always kind of want to be a bit more perfect than you can be, and I think like most parents at some point really quickly realize when they have children that that's just not possible, but when you're like an outside person and you don't really tend to children too much, I think like a lot of people have that thing where they overthink any of their behaviors because they want to like train right. It's like people that really love dogs but don't have their own dog or something like that and don't have their experience, but they want to really like make sure that the dog they interact with, or like the first dog they get, it has like the right environment, the right manners, things like that. I think it's actually more of a positive sign to be invested in it. Obviously it's stressful, and that doesn't really help, but I think it's more a positive sign of like that you actually care. It's still negative that it's stressful though, but I totally get that. I hope there would be some metal scraps or something and splashed onto shore, but I guess not. Ah. I totally missed that because the tree was in front of that. That must have been there for a long time. So much for metal scraps, huh? Okay, I think we can craft one more bed. Let's do that for this room. And we have literally 2 left, which will also take a decent bit of time. I also need to make sure that I take care of the room situation now that I've decided to do that manually. Actually been told that you would probably be a good dad, but you're like, nah, you're gonna probably you're gonna be bad. Yeah. Yeah. It's just not my thing in general. Like, I guess my mom also was never really a child person. She loved me to bits, and like she's an awesome mom, but like she also was never really a child person before, and I guess it kind of runs in the family. It just depends on how you treat them, but like I'm not really a child person either at all. But I also understand why there's a lot of like people that wish for a family and for a child. But I'm honest, I'd rather have dogs, cats, spiders. Anything else? You know, snakes. Snakes would be good. I don't know, it's just not my jam. But again, that's like one of the like likes and dislike things that's like really important to like be okay with, that people have different likes and dislikes. Like, just because you don't want children doesn't necessarily mean you hate children, things like that. You want frogs? Frogs are great. The only problem I have with like a lot of species is that they're so hard to tend to because like of how sensitive they are to anything. Like their skin is very sensitive, things like that. Same with slugs and snails, I think. Like they're so specific to tend for. I mean, obviously various snakes and things like that are true, but like, for example, like taking certain frogs onto your hand is like really, really, really bad. Because their skin is like so susceptible, and like even just a little bit of acids and all to have on your skin actually hurts them and things like that, so you can only touch them with gloves. It's like really hard. I mean, I guess certain frog and toad species obviously would work way better, but I think for me, when it comes to frogs and things like that, I'd rather have like a pond type situation. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna leave the hallway as big as it is now. I don't want to change it. It's already way too expensive. Okay. Well, I guess I'm not gonna have a lunch yet. But yeah, that's also another thing that always bothered me. Like, going to the like completely different topic is like people getting pets and not actually reading up on what the pet actually needs. I see this all the time with like hamsters being in like tiny plastic cages. Or like guinea pigs. Like, those animals need a lot of space, and they, for example, hamsters, they don't need a flat cage, they need quite a bit of depth to be able to bury. Because hamsters naturally, they make burrows, like they go on the ground, and if you don't give them the means to do that properly, it's not good for their mental health at all. And like a lot of people, they trust like what is told to you at pet shops, like just get that small aquarium, it's enough for one fish. Yeah, that small hamster cage would work. And it's just not true. Birds, yeah, it depends on the bird species. Like, I think people misjudge a lot about the commitment, especially with birds. We had gerbils for quite a while. And like they had the largest terrarium thing you could buy. Like, we barely could get it up our stairs. It had like a giant like glass area downstairs where they could bury properly with like air vents, so the like material wouldn't get too moist, too much moisture and things like that. Like, what, at least like 40 centimeters to 50 that you could fill that, so they could really dig, and they did. And then they had an entire upstairs with like a large wheel that was good for the bag. Like a lot of heights, sand baths, things like that, everything like properly set up. It was ginormous. We did get the one size smaller version when we had to separate our mice later, basically we got a little bit before, and because a friend of mine was like, hey, I have so many mice, and like the pet store owner, basically what they did for her was they didn't properly separate them, so they reproduced like a ton, and she was like, I really want to give them away. Do you want some? And we were like, you know what? Yeah, we can have another set. So the second cage was a little bit smaller, but not too much smaller. It was a bit deeper for that. Still not quite the size we would have loved. Well, it was like triple the size what they recommended still, but like, I mean, the pet stores would recommend like more than triple the size, but it was still not up quite to our standards, but there's a limit to what we could do. Size-wise with our rooms at that point. And like in the end we didn't get another pair. Like there's a thing about which animals and which like stuff you can have as pairs anyways. Our mice mostly work. We had some that had a fallout because one was annoying the other, so we had actually at that point we were happy we had the other cage, because that meant we could separate them easier. That worked out luckily really well. But yeah, it's always like a thing of like, you need to see what you need, do your animals need, how can you provide that, and like actually need, not just like get a plastic cage out of the pet store. You can use that for transport, but definitely not to have them permanently. I think there's so much misinformation, like with birds, absolutely too. I know a lot of people that are like, oh, I want parrots and this and that, and like the commitment, or like turtles, the commitment is just, like they don't know how much they need to spend. They think, oh yeah, I can just have them sit in a cage, be pretty. No, birds need a lot of enrichment, they need a lot of interaction, times outside to stretch their wings, they need the right partner. You cannot just get any two birds and, you know, hope they work well together. Obviously, there's some birds that are like, I don't want any partner. Like, that happens. Like, my cousin had the battery that, like, absolutely despised any other bird. Was more, like, very jealous. Like, any other bird that got any amount of attention was so not okay with. Which, if you think about it, is kind of hilarious, but, you know, like, most of them, they do need the right partner. They cannot be alone. Need to have the right dietary mix. They need to go to the doctors quite a lot more. I mean, a lot of people luckily prioritize their animals' health and actually get them to the doctors, even if they can't afford their own. But like the training time you need to take for them to, like, you know, train and enrich them to make sure that they're not mentally getting damaged, like proper handling, all that kind of stuff. It takes a lot of research before you even get a pet. Joking with the bears fetish children thing, but you would just consider getting some small species with birds over parrots. Those fuckers scare you. Yeah, I think it's just that you would be less fearful to harm a bear because it's harder to harm a bear than a child. I guess that's what I understood. But yeah, bears are not pets. It's the same way that foxes and stuff are not pets. Certain ferrets and stuff, they're like bred to be pets. So as long as you give them the right amount of enrichment and stuff, it's kind of fine. Doesn't mean that it's always good. Same like with certain other animals. Like, people always underestimate how many, like, hours of commitment and how many things you need to pay attention to when you get bunnies. Like, bunnies and rabbits are actually, like, technically so hard to keep. like it's easier to take care of snakes and things like that. You need to feed them on a regular schedule, but not always daily. You need to check the temperature and humidity, and you need to clear them out, but it's not that much maintenance in comparison. But bunnies and rabbits, they need a lot of space, they need a lot of different things to check, they need a lot of enrichment, they need a lot of care in their diets and stuff. It is like so much, like most people that hold them wrong. The same with hamsters and guinea pigs. It's like rabbits actually are even more challenging, like to keep healthy. It's like, and it's like not the thing that most people do. Most people get like those outside cages, maybe a bit larger one, and then they leave them in there, maybe put them like once a day in an outside area. But they actually need way more space. Like a tiny cage like that is like if you would be, like for a rabbit, is like you would be put in a bathroom and be stuck there your whole life, so to speak. It's like, you really need to, like with any pet, you really need to do your research. And it's not a thing of, but I don't have the means, but I still love my pets. No, sorry, but then you don't get pets. No matter if you need them mentally, you can take care of pets in other ways, like help out at the shelter, things like that, but don't get pets if you cannot properly provide for them. It is just like a rule that needs to be followed strictly, in my opinion. And I think that's where it's good here, how much more it's being checked, like when you adopt a dog and things like that, like it's being checked on a bit more. Obviously it doesn't always work in the ideal way, but like it's still like being taken care of way more than in a lot of other countries. Which I think is very good, because it just makes sure that the animals have like a proper environment. Like when you go to a shelter and you adopt a dog, or like for most like reputable breeders, you really have to like show them the environment they're gonna live in, show them what you get for them, what you can provide for them. Also, funny thing, you guys, which mildly political, but I think okay. They got rid of the dog's tax for, or still getting rid of, I'm not too much following the topic, but they're still like working on that, getting rid of the dog's tax for disability aid dogs. Like, to know a bit more about that, Germany has a dog tax. Like if you own a dog, you need to pay taxes on it, which makes sense in a certain way, but like basically like for disabilities, like for people with disabilities that have like guide dogs, things like that, those rulings apparently didn't really count. I need to get better food in there. So like a lot of times people still had to pay for them. I have no clue about any of Uruguay's things. I would never dare to talk about that. Yeah, no. Just gonna ignore that topic. Oh my goodness, I'm like messing up my keys here so much because my brain is like, I'm trying to register the numbers, but I think like I think my flu is like getting to my brain still a little bit more, because I'm like reading without reading, if that makes sense. Like I'm looking at the numbers and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Why does it say they have 0 bathrooms? Hold up. Why did it say which rooms were that? 8 and 9? Oh. Yeah, they don't have bathrooms, technically. How about we fix that? I think they already have toilets, both of them though. Gonna be removed though because I want a better one. Feeling I need sneeze. My pollen filter is going off a bit more though, so definitely allergies. Today was like half fine and half just like constant red. So I had to actually close the window because I was sneezing so much. This has nothing to do with me being sick. This is literally just the cherry on top that adds to me not feeling too well. Oh, we need iron plates. That sucks. Okay, I thought I could add like that. Not what I wanted to do. But I could add like stuff. I need to like put these bathroom things in like the proper trash stuff to like get all the resources out of them again. But yeah, I need toilets and all that, which means I need metal plates, which means I need to get over to the scrapyard. How late is it? Oh, we already have, oops, we already have past stream time. Whoopsie. That's okay. I am gonna see that I'm gonna raid out. Let me just sit real quick. And then I guess tomorrow is hopefully maybe gonna be a lot more. Also, 50,000 is a lot. How much did we get? Oh yeah, we get more, definitely way more stuff from managing this ourselves. So I guess I'm gonna keep that. Yeah, we don't keep as much because we have so many employees. The food stuff I'm definitely gonna keep, and the trash stuff. I may turn off the heating. I turn off the heating. Ugh. I'm sniffling so much that like I almost caught on my own spit. That's not fun. Let's not do that, people. But yeah, basically my plan is for tomorrow, gonna get all the scraps from the 824, try to make some more progress in this. Obviously linked to our stuff, and yeah, we shall see, hopefully. I think I can hopefully finish this. The thing is, I wanna finish the story. Don't know if we can get the 50,000 coins. I'm very tempted to actually just have this run for a little bit longer, like while we raid out and things like that, to make sure that we're in a 30, so I cannot take the 38. That's like level 5 tier stuff. But yeah, I wanna really make sure that. But I put guests in there, did I not? Guess I didn't. Must have missed that. Whatever, I'm just gonna accept whoever. Even though it doesn't fit. I don't need to care for the farmhouse or this anymore. I need to care for Winterberry a bit more. But like for the rest of the things, I guess it doesn't really matter. Oops, let's go to Winterberry and Pinefall. Let's see. I mean, for the money it matters. I still can't with that minus 100. Okay, let's do it like this, and then let's go to Pinefall. I guess we're gonna have those kind of quests here too. Yeah, I need to up the cooking a little bit, I guess. And the decoration and stuff. Oops, I always click on the wrong arrow. I need to click on the arrow that's up. Oh yeah, I need to take care of the food numbers and stuff, but I'm really tempted to just let this run a bit more. Let's see who is raidable, just so that we can like get some more closer to the money, and to the money we need to upgrade the beds. Like literally just standing here, I'm gonna like connect some trashes on the sides, I guess. And to that, we haven't raided Madame Juniper in a little while. They're gonna do co-work and chill and then some gaming, so that sounds good. So let's raid them. For those of you who don't know Madame Juniper, they are mostly fiber artists. They knit, want to get into crochet. They did needle punching for a bit, cross stitch most of the part. They worked on a book before, all things like that. And it's always very fun and relaxing to actually watch them. And they also have a puzzle pinned, which is really nice, so if you want to interact a little bit, but not necessarily chat, you can do a puzzle. Or if you don't have like your own other project, just with everybody solve a puzzle. So that's always fun. I do that sometimes. Actually, decent bit more times than I want to admit. Just sitting there and doing the puzzle, not even playing hey. To be fair, I'm more of like a lurking person in chat most of the times anyways, because I'm mostly doing my stuff on the side when I watch Twitch. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch her, so let's do that. And as I said, I'm gonna play this one more time tomorrow, and we're gonna do more Linktober, obviously. I'm gonna like sit down and put the picture up on Instagram and stuff now, right after. I'm really happy that we actually managed to finish it. And I hope you all have a lovely evening and hope to see you all back tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. And enjoy the raid. Bye bye.